Seems as though as time moves forward and the technology advances, so doesn't crime, and so don't scams. Something I want to touch on, so let's get to it. Happy 4th, people. Hope you've all had a good weekend. Up until recent years, I was completely computer illiterate. I wasn't into social media. I had no interest in it, actually. I had started my YouTube channel just about 4 years ago. Matter of fact, 4 years ago this month. And that's pretty much all I did. Now, I had no interest in Facebook or any of the other things. My Facebook page is only not quite 3 years old. And the only reason I had that Facebook page initially was to keep in touch with a friend through Messenger that had moved out of the area. For the most part, my page was barren. There was no post on it. There were no friends on it except the one. And as over time, I had a few people that I knew locally that had sent me friend requests. So maybe there were like 5 or 6 people. All it took was for one ex-Jehovah's Witness to send me a friend request, and then it was an avalanche. Most of the people who sent me friend requests were ex-JWs, and they had probably seen me on YouTube, so I accepted their friends. Now, if you look at my page, the vast majority are ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and maybe 5 or 6 people are people that I know personally that were not Jehovah's Witnesses. So I never thought twice when an ex-JW sends a friend request. Not all of them are created equal, something I want to get into. Every so often, you will get a friend request by somebody with virtually no profile. Generally, they were very, very pretty women. Nothing much said about them. They obviously had no mutual friends. So you wonder, why are they sending you a friend request? For the most part, I would ignore them. And every so often, I would hear through the grapevine about these scammers. Now, I knew nothing about the online scams. If anybody who's followed my YouTube channel over the last few years, you know that I basically make analogies between my past experiences with current events. The online scams was something I knew nothing about, so I couldn't really touch on it. Well, I kept hearing more and more about this, so I'm like, let's see what's going on. And I'm not beyond throwing myself out there to find out what is going on. So there was a spam. This is going back about 5 months now. I started accepting friend requests from these obscure females, supposedly from around the country, that I knew nothing about. In most every case, I would no sooner accept their friend request where they would try to contact me through Messenger. At first I ignored it, but I'm like, I'm not going to find out what's really going on unless I let them get through to me. So I did. Their MOs were virtually identical. The first thing they would find out, they would want to know, were you married or single? Well, obviously I'm single, so I would say single. Then they would try to lure you to hang out because they could talk to you better there. My thing was, you're talking to me just fine through Messenger, so I never really went to hang out. I knew nothing about it, so I said, the hell with that. Well, that's okay. They would continue talking and continue talking. And what most people probably weren't realizing, if you had accepted a friend request from one of these people, was that they're feeling you out. They're finding out your schedule. They're finding out what you like. And at the same time, you're not hearing anything about them, not much of anything. But as you're conversing, what they will tell you is they just got out of a bad breakup and they're looking for a new love. Online. Well, I found pretty quickly that basically what they will do, they will target older males as opposed to the younger ones. For the reason being, they figure that the older males are more financially secure. They also will find out if you're married or single. See, if you're married, you serve no purpose for them. And Their interest is not love whatsoever. But what they will do is they will engage in conversation, and by feeling you out, now there are three different things you can do with these people, because they will follow your lead. And I found I had 3 of them going at once, and I treated each one of them differently. See, if you treat them like a gutter slut, they'll act like a gutter slut. If you treat one like a lady, they will act accordingly. But the first thing they will ask you for, they will want a picture of you. Your best bet is not to send it, but I was curious, so I sent 3 different pictures to each one. The response was always the same. They would be very complimentary about these pictures. Now, what I had done, I sent one obscure picture to one. Another one, I sent a younger picture of myself. And the third one, I sent a picture of a Bobby Ploss looking dude. And the compliments came back immediately on each and every one. So, okay, these are complete smoke blowers. Well, they will ask you for your phone number. Your best bet, if you are talking to one of these catfish, is not to send your phone number. Because as soon as you do, within a few days, you'll be contacted by others from various parts of the country. What's happening is your phone number is being sold to others. So you will be bombarded with these people. Now, you may think you're actually falling for these people. And this is what their intent is to make you think you're falling in love with them. Well, you'll start conversing for a little bit, and then they will hit you up. What they will ask you to get them is a gift card. Now, they'll come up with various reasons. The more common one I found out was, I'm bored at my house, I got nothing to do, and I want to buy some video games. So they will have you go to the store and buy a gift card. And not only will they ask you for a gift card, more often than not, they'll even give you the price that they want or ask you how much. Do not do it, because this will not stop. If you buy it once, you'll find out you're buying it again and again and again, and the price will continually go up. I had one going for a while. Now, she told me she was bored at her house and she had no video games, and I responded to her and I says, well, you know, if you can't afford luxuries, you don't buy them. Well, that changed within the conversation to, I need to pay my phone bill or my phone will get turned off and I won't be able to talk to you. Can you go to the store and buy a gift card so I can pay my phone bill? My response was no. Now, as this is going on, what they are doing, they will continually send pictures of themselves. And each picture they send gets more and more provocative. Now, this is basically to lure you in. I get news for you. The pictures you're receiving aren't even from the person that you are talking to. They are catfish. These pictures are stock photos that are bought from various women around the country, generally between the ages of 20 and 30, and they are not the person that you're speaking to if you're texting back and forth. Well, this one was trying to get me to buy a card. And she says, I need to pay my phone bill. I need to pay my phone bill. And I basically said, no, that's something, I can't afford that. That's ridiculous. Her reasoning changed from her phone bill to, I have no food in the house. I'm starving. I'm very poor. Now, one thing they don't know me, much like I don't know them. But they're not realizing that I'm very observant when you're sending me these pictures. Given the fact, maybe this picture is of you, maybe it's not. But I'm not so much looking at the picture, but I'm looking at the background. I'm looking at how well this girl is kept up. And I'm looking at the expensive items around the room. Well, most of these pictures are selfies. Some of them are posed. So this one girl's trying to get me to buy her a card. And she sends me a picture. She's lying back on the couch. Her hands are playing with a kitty. And I commented back, nice picture. Who took it? Well, she responds back, oh, my friend. And I says, it must be a good friend. Well, I got tired of playing with that. So initially, all 3 of them block, 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 block. Now, this one girl that I was playing around with, She was supposedly from Texas, cute blonde. Well, I had tracked this one. No, she wasn't a 20-year-old cute blonde from Texas. She was an older black woman from Nigeria. See, this is something you've got to be careful of. Their interest is not in you. And the funny thing is, while they're feeling you out, you're hearing very little about them because they don't seem to work. They will get to know your schedule and they will contact you when they think you're getting up, when they think you've gotten home, but you're hearing nothing about them. You'd never hear about what they do for work, where they go, what are their likes, what are their dislikes. Their whole sole interest is in you financially. And they will continually try to get your money. Like I said, I had a few of them going, quite a bit. But this is basically just a warning. If you are talking to somebody online and they're sending you pictures and you're sending pictures back and you think you're starting a relationship, you are not. And if you are falling for them, you are not falling for them. What you're falling for is the perception that you're creating in your brain about them. But the person you're speaking to doesn't exist. The person you're speaking to isn't real. As a matter of fact, it may not even be that one person that you're speaking to because there generally is more than one involved. But anytime somebody sends you a friend request, look at the profile. Because these catfish they'll put out the prettiest pictures possible, but nothing else is in their profile. You don't hear anything else about them. Your best bet is to totally ignore it, if not delete it altogether. And if you are talking to one of these so-called women, your best bet is to cut ties with it right away because they're not real. I look at it as such that they're amateurs because Watchtower and other cults like Watchtower have been doing this for ages. Consider one thing. You're at home one day and you get that knock at the door. Well, you open the door, you get these smiling people. They're basically painting a picture of Watchtower that's just so unbelievable. It's picture perfect. A great organization to belong to. And at the same time, Jehovah's Witnesses are feeling you out for your pains and your weaknesses. Especially if you had a recent death in the family or a recent divorce, they will play on your pain. Then what do? They lure you to the Kingdom Hall. And then come the donations. Even though Watchtower claims they have no collections, no, they tug at your heartstrings for donations. Now they're pretty much coming right out and saying, give us your money. But that will never stop. Much like these online catfish, they will ask for more and more and more. Watchtower are pros at it, and we all know this. But this is just a warning because several people had mentioned to me about these online scams, and I like to know from firsthand experience what exactly going on. And like I said, I'm not beyond throwing myself out there to find out. Block them immediately because they are not who they claim. Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you all have a good day. And if anybody has had any experiences with online scams, I would love to hear about it. I've had a few friends, female friends, that have had dealings with it. But please leave your comments below about it. I would love to hear it, and I'm sure others would too. You guys have a good day. We'll talk soon.